So I guess I make a motion, we have a public hearing.
So we do nothing other than.
Yeah, you don't have to do
local law.
anything. Today you just introduce it, you set a local hearing for it.
Second that, John.
Probably for the next board meeting is when you set the local hearing for the 14th.
Okay, so that is November 14th, which gives Donna ample time to, so a public hearing on November 14th, and yeah, we could do 6 p.m. Well, we'll just do one public hearing on top of the other. So we'll schedule them both for 6 p.m. I think that'll suffice for the budget. Oh, no, that's the 7th. Never mind. I'm sorry, my apologies. Okay, never mind. So,
6 p.m.?
yeah.
Actually, you can go. Yeah, you just introduce me.
Yeah, what is this?
Second.
Motion for the public hearing.
Motion for the public hearing. I made a motion for the public hearing.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And the ghost walk, you want to touch base on?
Oh, yeah. The Council on the Arts does the Marble Orchard Walk. It's a ghost walk, and we've done it annually, they've done it annually. And I participated last year. Last year, a big crowd would have been 40, 50 people. Not this past week, Saturday. A week ago, Saturday, we had 175 people. It's a lot of people in a small cemetery, in the dark. But you know what's significant about that for us is, you know, the town provides some funding for the Council on the Arts. And these people took it upon themselves to do these projects, which makes them some money, so they're not coming to the town and using taxpayers' money. And I really think we have kind of hats off to these people, even Nichols in particular, for doing this, because all those people, we have people from Kenmore, from Buffalo, from Hamburg, all over the place came, because we had a lot of advertising this year, and they all go out to eat, they all stop for a drink, and they all get introduced to Lewiston. It's really beneficial for the community.
The microphones that you use is certainly an asset to the program. 175 people can hear.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to make mention of that because it was something nice.
Okay.
They do a wonderful job. Right, Judge?
Now we're talking, now under Councilman Jacoby, the Niagara County Communications Tower. Did you-
Okay, we'll go to that one too. Okay, 4244 Wolf Run, we went through the drawings and diagrams, I'm good with it.
Okay,
Because they understand my easements coming through there, and then we get to it, the pipes are good. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. Next. Did you address the communication?
No, right now.
Right now?
I sent Ned a text message to see if he's available for a phone call, and he didn't respond to me.
All
So,
right.
do you have a question about it?
Yes. The roads that are proposed, these are outdated drawings.
Still the old ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're not gonna be there.
We'll take no action.
So, well, you can take an action just with an adjustment to the roads. They have the one coming through a gate where my
Right.
area is, they can use the other part of the gate, which is their main road in.
Okay.
But the drawings to the police building, to the storage facility,
Right.
won't exist in this area.
Right.
Okay, so as long as it's that, I'm good with the drawings, everything else, I'm fine with the placement. With that, it's just the roads coming in and out. And I'm sure they'll make an exception because they won't be able to get to it.
Right.
Unless they put a road in. So you can go ahead and pass it, and I'll address it with the company coming in,
But you'll do it?
if you want,
Yeah, we want you
all right?
Yep. Okay.
And phrase that carefully.
So basically, we need to do seeker on it. On the negative deck on the communication tower.
to. I think we already had the.
No, we approved the lease.
Oh,
Not
that's
do
right.
seeker.
If I understand things correctly, Mr. Supervisor, I believe that the seeker process for this particular one was the Environmental Commission, if I'm not mistaken?
Okay.
It was.
Did they, was it? It was?
Yeah.
Did they declare a negative deck?
Yes.
Recommended.
They recommended a negative.
No, recommended.
Okay.
But you guys don't need to close the secret if you haven't,
Right,
because they're not, they're just recommending that.
right.
So make a motion to declare a negative debt?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. And then we need a motion to approve the tower, the tower project.
Make that motion to approve the tower project.
Second.
All in favor?
Exception of the road.
Yeah.
It was with the exception of the road.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Dave Tracy's.
As long as we have access to the road. Access roads.
Right. The drawings depicted in the original application were based on the old police parks building layout. They just took that and superimposed it. That has since changed, of course, impacting the access to the tower site.
Understood.
Just one comment.
Okay, hold on, we have a motion, a second, go ahead.
I thought we would.
We didn't vote for it. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. You got a question or a comment?
No, we could vote for.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Now you can go ahead.
For the two newspapers, we had a lot of hands in this pot. We got the county, we got the sheriffs, we got all these people in there, and it's very, and we're trying to accommodate a new building being built at the same time, and a roadway, and there's a lot of stuff involved, so, if there's someone who looks like a chicken with their head cut off, it's me, it's not the rest of the people up there. It's my first go kind of it.
Well, and Chief Trevick, why don't you add to that, Tower, that this is something right from the get-go you approached me on and you were in favor of, and
Well, again, just for anybody who's not familiar, we have and are lacking coverage in the area that I would say that this tower is essential. It's an officer safety issue. There is residences right now, as we sit in this building, if something happened here, you would have communication issues with the radio. Same thing with all the residences along Ridge Road, at least from here all the way out towards Porter Center, anything on the south side. It's impossible to get any radio coverage in a house, so when our officers go there, they're pretty much cut off from everybody. Something happens, they can't get a hold of somebody on a radio.
And I think people should understand that it's not just going from a clear signal to a staticky signal, it's from signal to no
Digital,
signal.
right, digital doesn't work that way. Digital is all or nothing. So either you have a signal or you don't have a signal. And if I go over there right now, the thing that's an issue is if we're chasing somebody, if we even had an issue with an officer in the front yard and one in the backyard, they can't talk to each other on the radio. That's an issue. They can't talk to dispatch. If something went wrong,
Right.
they can't call for help.
And a plastic fire too.
Yep.
That is police and fire, and that is the lack of coverage that they're trying to address.
How soon will this be done?
I thought they were gonna try and get started right away, but now we're approaching winter real fast. They want it quickly, right? I don't know if they can build it down there.
yeah, I think they want to do it by the end of November.
That was my original.
Yeah. Councilman Morial, anything? Okay. No residents signed up for afterwards, but is anybody want? Yep, go ahead.
Taking notes in the back there. I'm sure you can hear me. I know my voice has changed since.
State your name.
But I have a couple of questions, and then I have a comment. You guys didn't vote to table the solar. You have to, if you're gonna table something, you gotta vote to table it. There was no vote taken.
I don't think there was any action taken.
Yeah, but you're waiting for Mr. Seaman to give you all kinds of information, correct?
They're waiting for me to draft
Resolution.
Yes, a resolution, so therefore that's a kind of a technical table? So you're tabling, waiting for a resolution?
Well, items been on old business for several months, so they're not really, they have never tabled it, they just keep
You
it
don't,
on old business. We don't
so you're
normally
saying you
table
don't have
old
to
business.
table, you don't have to table
We
the
don't
solar
table
thing?
old business.
Okay, it's an item, Diana, whether it's under old or new business or
Yes,
it's
it is.
from the moon.
Yes,
It's
it
an
is.
item on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, you have a noise ordinance, and I thought I heard this gentleman say that they're gonna bring the trucks in at 7 o'clock?
7 a.m.
What's the time, is it okay? Because I thought it was 8.
Weekends and holidays, 8.
Okay, that's all I want to know. And then I have one question. I commend you, Mr. Jacoby, for what you've just done with the moratorium. You guys kind of let the horse out of the barn, because it's not going to help these people now. And if I understood what this lady said, that you're up to full capacity. So I don't know if it, you know, for me, electricity is if I go in the house and I flip the switch and it goes on, I'm a happy person. Okay? You want to talk electricity and current, you have to talk to my husband. He's the geek in the family. But if I understood what this lady said, you've reached your capacity right now for substations.
We want to hear that from National Grid.
Okay. But also, by doing the moratorium, I commend you. I commend you. Should have been done a long time ago. But these three that have been, two that have been passed and one that's pending, kind of let the horse out of the barn.
Yeah. And we have addressed that in previous meetings where we said we established a solar law,
Okay.
okay? Nobody came to the public hearing when we established a solar law.
Well,
So, well, but nobody spoke out against it.
Yeah.
Not one person spoke out against it.
I didn't-
Nobody spoke for it or
I didn't
against
have
it.
I didn't
So
have
we
it.
established a solar law,
Yeah.
you know, so now we've listened to what everybody has to say, and now we're pulling the reins back as best we can.
Okay.
But Steve, even further than that, we didn't pull the solar law out of thin air. We reviewed Grand Island, Wheatfield, informally a couple other communities, and ours is at least as stringent, possibly more so than these other communities. And by design, we did that to protect the citizens, but without any input from the citizens.
Well, I
I'm the
think
first to
too-
admit, I have solar panels on my roof,
Yeah.
but on my roof's a lot different
But
than
John,
the whole
the argument that I
countryside.
have for you, because I was at that meeting, I never got a copy of that law. It wasn't on the website, I don't believe. That was before Donna started putting information up on the website.
I'm not-
So I could see why the residents didn't respond to it. Okay, but I commend you guys, I really, really do, but it's kind of too little too late.
You could be right.
The other question I have, and this is where you guys have to educate me. Can a court overrule a decision from the ZBA? I understood Mr. Guyton to say that ZBA's decisions stand alone.
From the board.
Can a court overrule a decision from the ZBA?
Yes.
Unless that particular applicant files an Article 78. If there's no Article 78 filed, can a court overrule a decision from the ZBA?
You're looking at me and not him?
Okay, well, you're the zoning guy.
I'm not an attorney, I have no idea.
I'm also gonna tell you right now, I'm not here to answer your legal questions in the public forum with this, so I'm not gonna give you.
Okay, could you answer it after the public forum?
I'm not here to answer the question right like this.
So you're not going to give me an answer?
I've just answered you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulette. Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, upcoming board commission meetings.
Well, Lord.
Zoning Board of Appeals on November 7th at 6:30 PM. Environmental Commission, November 12th, 7 PM.